There's breaking news out of Wisconsin tonight, where what had been an extremely close race for Supreme Court between conservative incumbent Justice David Prosser and challenger Joanne Kloppenburg is now less close after an entire town's votes were reportedly not included in the initial tally, but then they were mysteriously found today. It happened in Waukesha County, the most conservative large county in Wisconsin by a mile. The county clerk in Waukesha County says she did not put the vote totals from one whole city in that county into the final totals she reported to the media. The town is called Brookfield, Wisconsin, population 39,000. Its votes reportedly went quite dramatically for the conservative incumbent justice, David Prosser. And that means that even though the Associated Press had Joanne Kloppenburg in the lead in this race by a couple of hundred votes last night, right now she appears to be unexpectedly over 7,000 votes behind. Yes, that is still an unofficial count. How did such a massive mistake happen, and how should we understand it? Well, according to the county clerk, she says she forgot to hit the save button on the relevant file. Here's her explanation tonight.
I discovered that the data that was sent to me from the city of Brookfield was not transferred to the final report that was given to the media on Tuesday night. The city of Brookfield cast 14,315 votes on April 5th. 10,859 votes went for Justice David Prosser, and 3,456 went for Joanne Kloppenburg. These numbers will be reflected in my official results. It is important to stress that this is not a case of extra votes or extra ballots being found. This is human error, which I apologize for. This was a Access database file that was on our regular system, and it was just a matter of the save, and it was just human error. Again, I apologize.
Has there been an error like this large, ever before in Waukesha County?
Not that I'm aware of.
Not that I'm aware of. Joining us now is Mordecai Lee, professor of government affairs at the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee. Professor Lee is also a former member of the Wisconsin State Assembly and the State Senate. Professor, thanks very much for your time tonight.
Thanks for inviting me.
What do you make of the explanation for these missing votes reappearing today? Does this seem to make sense to you?
Not really. It's awfully bizarre. In a clip that wasn't part of what you showed, she claimed that they didn't use the form she sent them, that they amended her template. I don't understand, how can she hand out a template that other people can play with? This really raises basic questions about the professionalism there. It just sort of struck me as amateur hour.
Is Waukesha County in particular, or Wisconsin broadly speaking, does it have a history of shenanigans about voting, or incompetence about voting, or other things that should help the national audience understand whether or not this late announcement today is something to worry about or just something to wonder about?
This is something to wonder and worry about. I mean, we're not Chicago in 1960 or Texas in 1948 when they stole elections, but 7,500 votes, that's a ton. I've been involved in Wisconsin politics since the late 60s, and I have never seen an election that had such a major mistake. You know, she was questioned by an audit about her IT system back last year by the county government, and she haughtily claimed that she could just have a freestanding PC. I think this is an indication of incompetence, and I don't even understand why we elect partisan county clerks. Isn't it time for civil service and public administration to run our elections?
The county clerk in this case, you can see on the screen here right now, is both elected and it is a partisan position?
Unbelievably. I mean, how can there be a supposedly Republican way to run elections or Democratic way? That's such 19th century America. We really need to professionalize those offices, and elections are the basis of democracy. And here in Wisconsin, we like to think of ourselves as dull and staid and straightforward. And for the last 60 days, every day we've woken up to another sort of jaw-dropping story, but this tops the cake. I just can't believe it.
There has been a lot of national attention on this local election. I mean, here we are in primetime national cable news talking about a dramatic turn in a state Supreme Court election in Wisconsin. But that's because this has been seen as essentially a proxy vote on the union stripping measures and the tactics of the Republican Party in Wisconsin, which have been so dramatic this year. Substantively, does the winner of this race have a substantive effect on the fate of Governor Walker's union stripping law?
The answer is yes. This was not a symbolic election. This was an election for the swing vote on our 7-member state Supreme Court. Right now, with Justice Prosser there's an ideological majority of 4 conservatives. If he were to be replaced, there would be an ideological majority of, I guess you'd say, left-of-center progressives. So this was really a vote about whether the collective bargaining bill, if it reaches the state Supreme Court, is going to be upheld or rejected.
Former Wisconsin State Senator Mordecai Lee, who is now a professor at the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee. Thank you very much for helping us sort through this. We know that it is not over. We may be talking to you again, sir.
Okay, thank you.